The noise had grown louder in recent days. Questions about rhythm, about chemistry, about whether this version of the Los Angeles Lakers could truly contend in a crowded Western Conference. On Saturday night at Chase Center, they offered a response that echoed far beyond the Bay. Behind a poised birthday performance from Luka Doncic and another milestone moment from LeBron James, the Lakers overwhelmed the short-handed Golden State Warriors 129-101 in a game that felt less like a February matchup and more like a declaration. For one night, at least, the pieces fit seamlessly. A birthday showcase. Doncic turned 27 on Saturday. He played like a man fully aware of the stage. In just 29 minutes, he carved up the Warriors for 26 points, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds, dictating tempo from the opening possession. He scored from deep, punished mismatches in the post, and threaded passes through seams that barely seemed visible. More than the numbers, it was the control. Every offensive possession appeared to unfold at his pace. When Golden State tried to speed him up, he slowed it down. When they sagged, he attacked. When they collapsed, he delivered the ball to open shooters with surgical precision. The Lakers needed that steadiness after dropping 3 straight following the All-Star break. Doncic provided it, calmly, efficiently, and without forcing the moment. "He's just in command," Coach J.J. Redick said afterward. "When he plays with that balance, we're very hard to guard." LeBron's milestone, LeBron's message. James matched Doncic's composure with his own brand of authority. Midway through the second half, he buried a three-pointer from the left wing, the 1,000th of his career, another line item in a resume already beyond imagination. He finished with 22 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds, operating as both scorer and facilitator, often toggling between roles within the same possession. The milestone was acknowledged. The impact was unmistakable. There was a stretch late in the second quarter when Golden State trimmed the deficit to single digits. James responded with a step-back triple, then a drive-and-kick assist, then a defensive stop that led to transition points. In less than 2 minutes, the momentum vanished. At 41, James continues to recalibrate expectations. Alongside Doncic, he appears energized, not merely preserving his body for April and May, but actively shaping this team's identity in the present. Early separation. The Lakers did not ease into the night. They detonated. They opened with crisp ball movement and sharp perimeter shooting, racing to a 17-point lead in the first quarter. They shot 53% from the field and 46% from three-point range, numbers that reflected not only accuracy, but quality of looks. Spacing was clean. Cuts were decisive. Passes arrived on time. Doncic and James orchestrated, but the supporting cast ensured the advantage ballooned. Austin Reaves attacked closeouts and finished with 18 points, blending aggression with restraint. Luke Kennard delivered a season-high 16 points, his shooting stretching Golden State's already thin defensive rotations. Jake LaRavia added 15 off the bench, capitalizing on open lanes and second-chance opportunities. The Lakers' bench energy turned what might have been a competitive game into a runaway. Warriors without their engines. Context matters. Golden State was without franchise cornerstone Stephen Curry, sidelined by a right knee injury. The absence stripped the Warriors of their primary gravitational force, the player who bends defenses before even touching the ball. They also continued to wait on Jimmy Butler as he recovers from ACL surgery, and were without Kristaps Porzingis because of illness. For a team fighting to maintain position in the West, the missing firepower was glaring. Without Curry's off-ball movement and shot-making, Golden State struggled to generate clean perimeter looks. Possession stalled. Isolation attempts replaced fluid motion. By the third quarter, frustration showed in hurried shots and defensive lapses. But while the Warriors' injuries were real, the Lakers' dominance was, too. They defended with discipline, rotated sharply, and converted turnovers into points. This was not merely a win over a depleted opponent. It was a display of execution. Signs of cohesion. The larger storyline is less about one night and more about trajectory. Since Doncic's arrival, observers have wondered how two high-usage superstars would coexist. Saturday provided a compelling blueprint. The offense flowed through both creators, often in alternating waves. James initiated early sets, probing mismatches. Doncic closed quarters, dissecting defensive adjustments. At times, they shared the floor in inverted pick and rolls, forcing defenders to choose between trapping and conceding space. There were no visible tug-of-war moments. No possessions where one star drifted while the other dominated. Instead, there was symmetry. Redick has emphasized pace and spacing in recent practices, pushing for quicker decisions and early actions. Against Golden State, the Lakers embraced that philosophy. They pushed after makes and misses. They sought corner threes. They cut with intent. It looked less like a group searching for chemistry and more like one refining it. Defensive commitment. Lost in the offensive glow was a defensive performance that may prove just as significant. The Lakers limited the Warriors to 101 points, contested shooters on the perimeter, and closed the paint with discipline. Their communication was sharp, switches were clean, help rotations timely. James anchored several key possessions, reading passing lanes and directing traffic. Doncic, often criticized for lapses earlier in his career, stayed engaged and positioned himself effectively. The result was a game that felt over well before the final horn. A necessary reset. The Western Conference remains unforgiving. Every stretch matters. Every skid magnifies scrutiny. By improving to 35-24, the Lakers steadied themselves and positioned for a crucial home matchup against the Sacramento Kings. Momentum in late February can evaporate quickly, but so can doubt. Saturday's performance offered clarity. When engaged and aligned, this team possesses both star power and depth. There will be sterner tests. Health will remain a variable. Opponents will adjust. But for one decisive evening in San Francisco, the Lakers looked less like a work in progress and more like a contender rounding into form. Doncic celebrated his birthday with efficiency and flair. James added another milestone to his legend. The supporting cast filled every gap. And the Lakers, for the first time in weeks, walked off the floor with more answers than questions.